Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to take a look at easily the best reverb plugin that you've probably never even heard of. I personally only discovered this reverb when I was looking for another plugin that I covered on a previous video around project time management. I'll link up above to that video as well. Most of us already know the usual suspects of awesome reverbs out there: Reverb, FabFilter, Lexicon. I personally have used VSS3 by TC Electronics for years and love it. They've always been really known for their large warm hall IR. You've pretty much heard it on almost everything at this point. But after demoing the new Reverb by HOFA, I have to say it may just become my new reverb go-to. Let me explain. But before I do, I need to mention that this is not a paid endorsement by HOFA. All of the thoughts are my own, but the team was kind enough to send me a license to demo for you guys. Now, let's go ahead and jump into some of the pros and cons that I've found with using the reverb over the last couple of weeks. Then we'll take a look at some of the IRs and algorithms that HOFA's come up with as well. Let's get into it. So to get started, let's go ahead and hear the reverb on a few different instruments, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the plugin itself. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some other presets that are included. This is your dry sound. As you can hear, you can get some pretty great results with almost any type of input. Now, for me personally, I found a lot of things I really did like about this plugin and only a few things that I felt like could use a couple of improvements. So to really get started, HOFA did a fantastic job with the UI. I mean, it goes without saying. The 3D interface, the visualization of the reverb tail, it's absolutely fantastic. I personally like having all the big buttons. The search is one of the best search tools I've seen, definitely inside of a reverb plugin. The only thing I can think that maybe come close is like Omnisphere, but HOFA's search tool is still quite superior, in my opinion. They really get granular with your options to find the sound that you're looking for. Anything from just ambient, hall, location, plate, the type of reverb, category, real, synthetic, hybrid, usage, which you can just go ahead and quickly find whichever instruments. So it's vocal, experimental. You can have your options there. This part is actually pretty unique where you can go in and select based off the brightness. HOFA classifies all their reverbs by brightness. So you can go and kind of dial in the amount that you would feel like your reverb that you would want. And then you can even select the libraries that you have. You can add user IRs, which is pretty great, and then select from their version 1 and version 2 libraries. One thing that really sets this plugin apart from most others is that it's actually a convolution and an algorithmic reverb all in one. Not only is it both of them in one, but HOFA allows you to run 4 different simultaneous IRs and 2 different algorithmic reverbs all together and blend all the channels with this mastering strip. HOFA includes some really great flexibility with modulation, saturation, compression, EQ. There's a ton of effects and options built in already for the reverb itself. Anything from an IR envelope, onboard EQ, a gate as well. I personally use the saturator quite a bit, as well as the modulation to give some really cool effects to some odd string sounds. The positioning feature can be a pretty useful tool to be able to place the reverb inside of the space that you would like. Double click, and you can even get a little more granular with the left and right channels. One really surprising feature that was built in was that they added test samples of different instruments so you could test each reverb. Just gives you a quick way to find what you're looking for using different inputs. And other things you can expect: wet mix value, in value. HOFA included a pretty large IR library on board already, north of 1,200 IRs. And they range from everything from the shortest tail here all the way to plus 33 seconds here on this haul. Now, to go over a couple of things I feel like that could be improved upon, specifically the algorithmic reverb is not as intuitive as the rest of the plugin. And what I mean by that is there's these implied buttons for the size, moderate, depth. And while you can figure it out pretty quickly, it's not as intuitive as the rest of the entire plugin is. Outside of that, the only other one I would have to nitpick about is the drop-down menus. Anytime you have a drop-down menu, whether it's selecting your EQ curve or selecting your different instrument right here, these drop-downs are actually not connected to the button itself. So say like you were working like I was the first time and had the plugin off the screen on a secondary display, and then you selected your instrument and the little pop-up window pops up on a different display on your master display. It took me a second to figure out, and it's kind of cumbersome trying to navigate both those windows since they don't connect. The drop-down doesn't connect to the button. I'm not a software engineer, so I can't tell you how hard of a fix that would be, but that would be something I think that could be improved upon. Other than that, HOFA's done a pretty fantastic job with this plugin. It covers so much ground, especially for the price, as much as you can use it for. Definitely want to thank their team again for giving us the opportunity to review this plugin for you guys. I'll link the trial in the description below if you guys want to check it out. As I mentioned before, it's going to be pretty tough for me not to use this in my workflow now. I really think this reverb competes and excels in places over some of the biggest players in the space. The price point is very comparable to the VSS3, so I think you're getting some really great sounds and feature sets for the price. I really hope you all found this helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to support the channel and to not miss out on the latest content. I really hope to see you around for the next one.